I don't know how much time I have to film this video, so I'm going to try and do it as fast as possible for a multitude of reasons. One, I forgot to charge my camera battery, so I don't have like a huge battery, but also I literally put my daughter down for her nap maybe 30 minutes ago, but I spent 30 minutes looking for my SD card and I could not find it. And then guess what, guys? It was in the camera the whole entire time. So, yeah, I figured that out when I was like, finally, I was like, okay, I'm just going to get a different SD card. And then I went to put it in and I was like, right, okay. So I did not feel very smart, but I do want to talk about January because I did get to read quite a few books. Hold on. I am actually going to do a separate video for my book journal for January, as well as like the TBR picking, just because if I added all of that into this video, it's going to be so long and I don't have enough time to film that. So I do want to get this video out as soon as possible because we're already in February. So I want to get it done as soon as possible and give that to you guys. So I'm just going to do my January. Sorry, I just noticed that I wrote October TBR on my January TBR because I was, anyways, taking inspiration from my previous reading journal. Anyways, okay, moving on. January, I actually read 9 books, which was very exciting. January was a very slow month. I had to house sit my parents' house, and so my daughter and I were just there and we were just kind of hanging out. So I got a lot of reading in, and yeah, I had some pretty good reads. I will just say, I read a total of 9 books. I read a total of 3,134 pages, which is quite a lot of pages. I read 6 out of 8 books that were on my January TBR, which is pretty exciting, which means 3 books were not on the TBR at all. I just picked them up and read them. Ratings go as far. I had 2 1-stars. I had 4 3-stars and 2 4-stars. No 5-stars this month. And there was 1 not rated, which was my nonfiction book. I listened to 2 audiobooks and then I read 7 books. So yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this month's readings. So without further ado, I do want to start off with the one book that I don't have in my pile of books, which would be Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin. This book I listened to on audio, and it is about these vampires who have a steamboat business basically, and he is a vampire hunter. He's a vampire, but he's a vampire hunter. So he's trying to get the bad vampires out while also assimilating the vampires who want to into the human world so that they can be one with humans. And there were so many things wrong with that book. For instance, I don't know if George R.R. Martin had some sort of hyperfixation on steamboats one time and just wrote this book and he was like, I just want steamboats in my book, because he spent so much emphasis on these steamboats, talking about these steamboats, going into great detail about these steamboats, how fast these steamboats can go, the size and width, all these things, right? He just really talked about steamboats. And I was like, okay, I guess. I am not a steamboat girly, but I can understand if somebody were super into vampires and steamboats, I still would not recommend this book for you. I actually ended up DNFing this book. I did give it a 1-star. I DNF'd it. And that is because of the amount of hard N-words that was used. I could not do this. It's just so racist. It was so misogynistic. I could not listen to the audiobook. I think if I was reading the physical copy, my mind would have mentally skipped those words or skipped those paragraphs. I think I could have finished it, but because I was listening to it on audiobook, it was impossible for me to just mentally erase it from my mind. And it was just getting so bad that it got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, I want nothing to do with this book. absolutely nothing to do with this book. So I DNF'd it and returned it to my library because I did read it on my library, or I listened to the audiobook on my library app. And I returned the book and I was like, no, thank you. Just pretend I never checked this out, okay? Like, don't even have it on my record. So then the second book that I listened to on audiobook, I actually have a copy of my library's physical copy because I did a video on this, which you can go and check out. But I also listened to 107 Days by Kamala Harris, and this I did not give a star rating to because it is a nonfiction. I have an entire video talking about this book, so please go check that out. But I will give you the Cliff Notes version with this video here. Basically, this follows the 107 days of the election that Kamala Harris ran. She was vice president with Joe Biden, and she ran for president against Donald Trump. And this just it's almost like a diary of her 107 days as president, or as running for president. And I really liked the style that this was written in, and I really liked the family aspect. I think she's actually quite funny, and I do wish that she did more podcasts so that we could see how funny she actually is, because she's just very sarcastic, and she ended up narrating this book actually, and it was really pleasant to listen to her talk about her experiences. But I will say I do feel like the point was missed. I read this book twice so that I could get the video, and I still don't know who she is. I still don't really have an understanding of her. She's kind of this amoeba that is just there and just soaks up other people around her to become whatever you need her to become. So I do wish she had more of an identity in this book. I felt like that voice got lost. I felt like there was a lot of politicking in this book where she had to make sure to say certain things a certain way. And quite frankly, I would like the unabridged, just plain Kamala Harris version. I would like the version, and I mean, I'm not privy to this. I'm not saying that Kamala Harris, give me a call. Don't do that. But but what I am saying is that I just wish she had given us, the American people, more of an insight, because I already know what happened in the 107 days. I was there, you were there, everybody was there. We all watched the news, and it was just kind of a recap of what the news already gave us. I was really hoping to get inside her head and to understand her better, and to even like her more, because in this book I felt like she was very, how do I say this? She kind of came off as a pick-me girl at times, not all the time, but there were a few times where she came off as a pick-me girl. And I don't know if that's because of politics or if that's her personality. I'm really not sure, but I would have liked a better understanding. I don't think she would have come off that way if she gave us more vulnerability in this book. But I did enjoy a lot of it. There was quite a bit that I did actually enjoy. I know in the video I kind of go on because it's an hour long video, and I didn't really want to do a 2-hour long video. But there was quite a bit that I actually did like about this. One thing that I will say is that I absolutely adore her with her family. Anytime there's a scene with her and her family together, it is you can see the real Kamala trying to come through, but the politician is blocking her. It won't let her get too vulnerable. And I just wanted more of that. I really needed to see more of that, because otherwise she's a robot in this book, and she's just and then this happened, and then this happened, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then this happened, and then I did that. But when she's with her family, it's very flowy, it's very creative. It's just you can tell she has so much joy around her family. I needed more. I just needed more. I wish we got more, but c'est la vie. I am excited to hear that she is still in politics, because I'm hoping to hear what she's got planned to do next. It seemed like she had some concepts of a good idea, but it didn't really take hold or take shape. And I would love to know what those plans were. So yeah, anyways, that was this book. I don't know if I should do these in order or if I should just grab a book, because the way I have them set up is kind of difficult. We'll try and keep them in order. Okay, so I read Before I Forget. This is a newer book by Tori Henwood Hohen, and I ate this book up. I cried at the end of this book. It was a prompt that I picked, and I think it was, I don't know where the tab went, but I'm pretty sure I picked this as a prompt for crying, like specifically like a book that will make me cry. And it did. It totally did. It was so good. It is about this girl and her father. Her father has dementia, and her father had kind of a falling out after the death of her ex-boyfriend. And now her dad has dementia and he doesn't even know who she is. She's trying to apologize to him for basically shutting him out and keeping him out of her life, but he doesn't even know her first name. He has no idea like why she's around. And then something spooky keeps happening. He starts predicting the future. Like he starts talking about things to come, and yeah, it's kind of spooky. And then he's like talking about people that have passed away, like they're in the room with him. Like he's like, "Oh, I just saw your ex-boyfriend that passed away. I just saw him. He just walked out the door. Like, you just missed him. I was just talking to him." And she's like, "No, you didn't." And he's like, "No, I did. That's exactly what happened." So it's kind of cool though, because they start this like little like weird side hustle, and it's just really fun. This is a very funny book. Like, it's a very funny book, but it's also a very emotional book as well, because you see her growing and you see the father, like, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to give too much away, but I really do recommend this. It's a quick book too. It's very short. I loved it. I ate it up. I thought it was just so beautiful, so perfectly written. And I'm really excited that I got to read this. I'm actually loving this author. So if she writes any more, I will be picking those up. I did get this from Book of the Month though, for my December 2025 pick, but I loved this one. So good. Oh, and I gave this 4 stars. This is one of the 4 stars that I gave. So the next book that I read was The Berry Pickers. This is by Amanda Peters, and it is about a indigenous family who lived in Maine and was blueberry picking. And then they moved up to Nova Scotia after a series of unfortunate events that happened to their children. One of their children, her name was Ruthie, she just disappeared one day, just completely vanished, completely disappeared. This book tells the story of that in 2 different POVs. You have the first POV, which is, I forget like her name. Hold on. You'll know why, but if you read the book, but so it's told in 2 different POVs. There's Norma and then there's Joe. Joe is from the indigenous family. Norma is from a white family, and she was adopted, and it just kind of like talks about their POVs. Norma is just trying to figure out like why her mom is the way she is. She's trying to figure out why her dad was the way he was, and why everybody seems to walk on eggshells around her, especially when she's like a child and she's just like has like an imaginary friend. Like, she feels very normal, but like her mom doesn't like her to go too far. She wants to be able to see her at all times. And it's, I don't know, it's very strange. And then there's Joe from the indigenous family, and he talks about what it was like being raised in an indigenous family and like having tragedy after tragedy after tragedy come to their door and be invited inside for dinner, apparently. But he just talks about all the things, and it's almost in the form of like him storytelling. Like, his POV feels like he's storytelling, whereas Norma's POV feels like she's living through it. So yeah, it's very interesting, but the 2 POVs do collide, and when that happens, it is pretty magical. I did give this book a 3-star, most of it because I felt like a lot of this book just I didn't understand the point. Like, for instance, the different POVs, I don't understand why we chose those 2 people. I understand Norma, but I don't understand like why we chose Joe's POV. I think it would have been better to have the 2 moms, Norma's mom and Joe's mom. I wish it was their POVs, because I feel as though that would have made the whole book a different vibe, a different tone, a different energy. So I just feel like that might have been better. I don't know, but in my opinion, I think that it would have been fun to just have the mom's POVs and see what it was like for a mom, because as a mother myself, if anything should happen to my child, like if she went missing, I would absolutely never give up until I see a body. That girl is just out there living her best life. And that's what's going on in my head, because I would never give up hope. I would never, ever, ever give up hope. And I would never give up the curiosity to figure out what the heck happened to my child. And it just felt like this mom kind of just accepted her fate as all my children are destined for some sort of a tragedy, whether it is sickness, death, kidnapping, doesn't matter. Like all my children are going to face suffering and trauma. So there is a lot of trigger warnings in this one. I would be careful with this going in. Before I forget, the actual book, the only trigger warning I would give for that one would be the grief and the elderly parent taking care of a parent. But for this one, there's a lot of violence in it. There's a lot of alcohol abuse. There's domestic abuse. Obviously, there's kidnapping. There's murders, there's racism, but not as fever dream racism. Like this racism made sense. The misogyny in this book made sense in the fact that this is what Indigenous people would have had to face in that time. And I just feel like it was a better representation of racism and misogyny. Not that you can that's such a weird way to say it, but I just feel like it was much more sensitive in this book, whereas in Fever Dream, it was much more crass and just there for shock value. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense to somebody. I just feel like in this book, like we understand like these people lived a certain way because they're forced to live a certain way because of the racism and misogyny that is put upon them. So anyways, I gave this 3 stars and I did really like it. I would recommend it for people if they are interested in like a historical fiction. I liked it because it's got Maine and I'm from Maine. So moving on. So I read Hot Wax. This is by M.L. Rio. I did not like this book at all. I gave it a 1 star. I was really angry and frustrated the entire book. This book is about a woman who I can't even be nice about it. Like I'm trying to figure out how to explain what this book is about by being kind. But like, honestly, this book just irritated me so much. This book is about a woman who goes through a midlife crisis and decides she never had to struggle. She never got to be homeless, and therefore she wants to go ahead and experience that. Like she feels like she has an experienced life, even though her dad was a rock star, like he was in metal music and all this stuff growing up. She went on tour with him. Bad things happened on this tour, like near-death experiences. And she was like, that was the best time of my life. I was 11 years old and almost killed, almost trafficked, almost raped, like almost essayed. Like there's all these things that happened to her. And I'm just like, honey, that's trauma. Like you need to see a therapist. But anyways, she is our heroine. She's the girl that we're supposed to be rooting for. And I could not root for her the entire time. I, in fact, started to root for her ex-husband, Rob. Personally, I feel like he was the only sane character in this book. I feel like he made sense. He was very reasonable. He's supposed to come off as this crazy ex. He does not come off as a crazy ex. He comes off as very reasonable. Like he demands an explanation. He hunts her down. She literally leaves. She leaves, takes the car, leaves, takes her cell phone just to destroy it. Like, why wouldn't you just leave your phone? Like, just leave your phone behind. Because personally, like, this is in the day and age of 2025. I'm assuming they're married. I'm assuming they have the same bills on everything. So you destroying your phone is so rude to me. That is just so rude. Because even if he was like, okay, fine, let's just get divorced, whatever, because that's what she wanted. First of all, like, you're being sketch. Like, you're being so weird about it. You just, like, leave a note and you're like, yeah, I'm out. Because this man had a 401k and a retirement savings. Like, he's your, like, average good dude. And she even says that. Like, he was fine. It's just, like, he wasn't exciting because he wasn't a risk. Like, he was very safe. He's always been very safe. He's that guy that marries a woman and they have 2.5 kids and they live in a really beautiful house with a white picket fence. And she was like, I did not want that, which is fine. You don't have to have that. But you were married to this man for a generous amount of time. And he wanted an explanation. Like, you wasted a lot of his life. I'm sorry, but she is the villain. I despised this book. I didn't despise it, but I really, really, really did not like it. I ended up finishing it just to find out what happens to our hero, Rob. Like, truly, I just wanted to know what happened to him because I was getting so angry. I was getting so angry. And this is not it. It felt like she was trying to do a Daisy Jones and the Six type of thing, and it did not come off that as anything at all. Like, there were too many characters. I didn't feel attached to any single person. The present time, because it is dual timeline, so you're like reading about her 11-year-old self and you're reading about her 40-year-old self. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Her 40-year-old self, like, please grow up. Grow up. Go home, get divorced like a normal person, and go live your life. This is 2025, okay? Like, this book is set in 2025. It is not set in 1920. You didn't have to do it that way. None of this book needed to happen if she had just been a big girl. But no, she had to play the victim. She had to be Little Miss, like, oh, I can't do this the easy way and let my husband, or my ex, whatever, let him be happy. No, I can't let him be happy because I'm not happy with myself. So therefore, no one gets to be happy. I hated it. I hated all of it. I was so angry with it. I was rooting for Rob towards the end. No, thank you. I actually am really disappointed because I feel like ML Rio wrote one amazing book and it's just been disappointing after that. So I don't know what's going on. The next book that I read, and the other 4-star book that I have is Kiki's Delivery Service. I read this book. It's so cute, guys. It's so cute. It's very short. It's less than 200 pages. It's like 193 pages. And it's so cute. It's something that you can just read in a day. In fact, I basically did. Like, I read a lot of it in just one day. And it's just so cute. It's just as cute as the movie. Now, I read Howl's Moving Castle, and I felt like that was significantly different from the movie. I felt like in that case, the movie was actually better than the book. In this case, I love both. I think both are fantastic. They have their quirks in either video, like movie or book. With this one, you do get a little bit more, like there's a little bit more adventure, but for the most part, it's just absolutely fun, great for kids, super beautiful, just like gentle, like it's just such a beautiful, magical experience. If you aren't familiar with Kiki's Delivery Service, it's about this little girl. She's a witch, and she goes off to start her witch journey. And in that process, she meets some very fun characters. She has a little black cat named Gigi, and she meets this baker and his wife, and then she meets another little boy, and it's just really cute. It's really fun. She just delivers packages, and it's just this journey about how she flies around and delivers packages. And it's really sweet. It's really, really cute. I loved it. Do recommend, absolutely. Especially if you're just wanting something that's like easy peasy to read. It's perfect. I finished The Names by Florence Knapp. This was a book club pick for January, and this is about a woman named Cora, and she has a daughter already, and then she recently gave birth to her son, and she's on her way to the register to give a name on the birth certificate, to have them put a birth certificate. Her husband, Gordon, wants her to name the baby after him, but she is afraid that that name will shape this kid in a very bad way. So she actually wants to name the baby Julian, which means Skyfather. And then her daughter, I can't remember her name. Oh my gosh. It starts with an M. Maya. Thank you. To myself. Her daughter Maya wants to name the baby Bear. And so then you have 3 timelines. You have Bear, Julian, and Gordon, and you follow their timelines all the way to the end and see what their life would have been like if that's what the name that they were given. I very much have mixed feelings. I gave this book a 3-star. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this book. I felt like it was good in the sense that I really did like the plot. I really did like the writing style. I think it's absolutely beautiful writing style. I just felt like, one, the pacing felt off, and two, it felt like people were forcing him to be the name that he was given. It felt like he was being told, like, because your name means this, you have to act this way. Also, everybody's name was incredibly literal, to the point where, like, their grandmother's name is Shilva, and it means silver haired. She was a grandma. She had silver hair. Like, it was just way too literal for me. Oh no, my battery's gonna die. All right, let me go see if I can switch it out for the other one and see if the other one's charged just a little bit, and I will be right back. I don't have many books. I just have 2 more books after this one to talk about. So give me 1 second. Okay, so this one has 27%. We're gonna try and like speed through this a little bit. But so yeah, my issues with the names. I just felt like if we had started off with the same opening every single time, like if we had done the same thing every single time, I feel like it would have been a better representation of what that person could have been like based on their name, and if it was more of their choice and not everybody else's choice. But other than that, I did really enjoy the book. I would recommend it. I would still recommend this book. I just think that it could have used a little bit more improvement in certain areas. I did finish Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I thought that the first 70% was super slow, but the last 30% did intrigue me. And I actually, little spoiler alert, I have started the second book already, Hellbent. I'm almost halfway through it right now as we speak. But yeah, I am reading Hellbent right now, which is the second book to this. I did not know that there was going to be a third book. I thought it was just going to be 2. I thought it was a duology. I was so sure it was a duology, and now there's a third book coming out. So I'm kind of annoyed by that, but that's fine. Would I, like, after Hellbent, I don't think I'm going to continue the series. I think I'm just going to be done with the 2, but I did read Ninth House and I did give it a 3-star. I think most of that 3 stars because of the very end. I felt like the characters were okay. I felt like the magic was cool. I did like that. But I felt like, and I feel like the twists that are in this book are nice, but I just felt like our main character were 2 different people throughout the book. So we had our main character in her version where she was like, I am so cool and strong and I wear leather jackets because I just am that cool. And then we had the version of her, like, whenever she's around people and she's just kind of like wimpy and childish. So I don't know. It was very strange. But the book is about this girl who came from a very bad situation. She was a drug user, and then she goes to Yale on scholarship to do magic, and she meets this guy. He is her Virgo. She's considered his Dante, and he disappears. He just one day disappears, and she's trying to figure out how to bring him back because it is technically her fault that he disappeared, or at least she thinks that. And she's trying to get him back. She's trying to figure out how to get him back while simultaneous trying to solve a murder mystery of this girl who passed away. And she's not really sure why she wants to solve this murder. She thinks that there's like several reasons, but one of them is that she reminds her too much of a friend who also used a lot and passed away, like lying down next to her. So overall, I feel like this book was okay. It was just mid, like it was fine. I'm going to read the second book because I own it and I just want to get it off my shelves. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like bad. It just wasn't like my favorite. And then the last book that I read, and you guys will be so excited to hear this, I read Crown of Midnight, which is a Throne of Glass novel by Sarah J. Maas. I finished it literally on the last day of January. I just was like, I need to finish it today so that I can count it in my January TBR. But I did finish this and I gave it a 3-star. It was fine. Like, I feel like this was still setting up for the future books. Like, I feel like we're still world building and we're still giving a lot of information. So I felt like we kind of muddled our way through. One of the main things that I have about our main character, Selena, is that she's not like, she's not exactly a hero, I guess. Like, I don't know how to say this. Like, she is supposed to be an assassin, but she's the opposite of an assassin. Like, she's so bleeding heart that, like, I'm pretty sure if there was a mosquito in the room, she would not lay a hand on it. Like, I just feel like she would not. She would give it a chance to escape. Like, she would relocate it. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like she wasn't as strong of a woman as people have been making her out to be. So I'm hoping that as we read, more will happen. Of course, a lot happens in this book. I don't want to talk about it because it is either your second or third book that you read in the series, depending on how you read the series. So I don't want to give away too much, but a lot of twists happen in this book that I honestly did not see happening at all. I told my friends, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not see that. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that this thing was going to be revealed. So I love that, especially since, like, that was one of my complaints, was I was wanting to know, because you see all the memes and stuff like that on, like, Instagram Reels or YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And I was like, where is this character? Like, when do they come in? Because they're a huge part of the fandom. And it was very exciting to finally meet that character. So yeah, no spoilers, but it was just very exciting to see what all of the hype was about. But again, I gave it 3 stars. So yeah, that is all that I read in the month of January. I'm super excited to continue reading in February and for the rest of the year. I don't know why I said that, but I'm excited to see what other books. I will be doing my February TBR, hopefully in the next video. If it's not no, it has to be. So I'll probably do my February TBR, and then I will do the recap of my January reading journal, so that I can show you guys an update of my January reading journal, because during my reading journal video, oh my gosh, let me try that again. When I did my reading journal video, which is like very basic, again, you can go watch that. I am not artistic. I am not good. Like, I'm not like a huge artist. I don't draw or anything like that. Oh my gosh, where's my ring? It's in the bedroom. I was cleaning and I didn't want to get the cleaning product on it. Okay. Well, anyways, shoot. Anyways, what was I saying? That threw me off. Oh, in that video though, I had asked you guys, like, would you like to see what I do for January when I set up the pages, or do you want to wait until, like, they're actually filled in so that you can get, like, a better understanding of what's going to happen? And some people had said that they would rather I just wait until January's over and I've, like, finished everything so that then I can go talk about it. So that's exactly what I did, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys, because for a girl who doesn't do art, it looks really, really cute, and I'm very happy with it. It makes me happy. So yeah, I'm excited, and I am looking forward to talking to you guys about that, and that will be in another video. And then I have another video that's already pre-filmed, and it's talking about my physical TBR. I just have to edit that one. So I have 3 more videos to show you guys. I'm hoping that that gets up ASAP for you. We have been sick in the household. Like, everybody got the flu, and then we all slowly recovered. I have pregnancy nose, which is terrible. I'm like blowing my nose constantly. And then I had to go house sit my parents' house. So it's just been like one crazy thing after another. I'm hoping that February will be chill, but I'm not holding my breath for that. So we shall see what happens. And yeah, I'm going to let you guys go, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. I appreciate it. There's a ton of people who recently subscribed, and that makes me so excited. But please go ahead and do that. And I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, thank you. Bye.